Got to keep the place neat and tidy.
Yeah, well done.
It's 7 o'clock, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for their support at the last month's annual general meeting, and even those that didn't vote for me, but just let you know that the committee's here to represent all members. And but thanks again. Have we got any visitors here? And would you like to stand up, one of you or two? And you are?
So my wife and I are part of the Victoria Police 4-Wheel Drive Club, and I'm the secretary there, and my wife actually does most of the running as she tells me what to do, and I just put it into action. So, but we thought we'd come along and see how professional clubs are run, and we'll introduce some things to our club from there. So thanks for having us along.
No, welcome.
New member. So I've been a member for the last 2 months. So my first meeting in person. My name is Mark Fenton, 100 Series Land Cruiser. Way to go. So yeah, I'm looking to enjoy the social and driving parts of this club. It'd be good.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so go on to the President's report. I'd like, first of all, to introduce the new committee, because we've got most of them are here tonight. If they could all stand up, and I'll run around. We've got Vice President over in the corner there that's also selling raffle tickets. We've got Ian Ross. We've got Manda Gladstone, committee woman, number one, person, sorry. I'll go Eric Bishop is the other committee person. We've got Neil Chambers, who is the Assistant Treasurer. And we've got our Secretary here, Alison Williams. We've got on Zoom, we've got our the treasurer sort of still in rehab, and we've also got Sandra Wellers up from Ballarat. She's the assistant secretary. There they are. We've had a bit of sad news through the month. We've lost 2 of our very old members. We had about 4 weeks ago, we had Len Gething, who is one of the foundation members, passed away after a fairly long illness. He used to come up pretty regularly to, I've got memories of him coming up to Yark for most of the working bees, and he sort of really enjoyed himself up there. And also last week, Harold Ross, who's a life member, he passed away last week, and he joined in March 1983. And but with both of them, there's either in this magazine or there'll be information on them, a write-up on both of them. So I'm sorry about all that news. But, okay, now we move on to our guest speaker, and I've got great pleasure in introducing you to James Witt from DXP Fuel Additives.
My name's James from DXP Australia. So what we offer is a premium fuel additive. We're an Australian-made product. We're just taking around the market at the moment for the last 3 years, but we are an old product. We've been around about 30 years. So we wanted to just give a bit of history about that and give you a bit of an understanding of what it does, what it is, why it works, and why it's good for you, good for your vehicles. So Neville Owen was the creator of this product. Neville Owen lives in Albert, New South Wales, and he was in fuel distribution for about 40 years. He was actually the founder and inventor of Fuel Doctor, which many of you would have heard of before. It's a very well-known product. It's still available today. But when he did create that, it was prior to 1993 when they brought in the legislation to remove sulphur and lead from fuel. So he recognised that Fuel Doctor wouldn't be adequate enough to act as a lead replacement or a sulphur replacement, those aspects of the fuel. So he then sold Fuel Doctor off and created a product called Premium Blue. The Premium Blue he ran in his fuel distribution business for about 25 years. mainly with farming and trucking around the central west slopes and plains of New South Wales. And a very well-proven product that helped him to expand his business just through word of mouth to, in the end, he was moving about 2 million litres of fuel a week and focused mainly on diesel, obviously in farming and trucking. So back in 2015, through ill health, he actually gave up that business. We'd been using the product. He's a good family friend of ours out of Narromine, New South Wales. But he was going to shelve the product, and we didn't agree to that because we knew there was a huge gap in the market for a product like this to work. It was an incredible Australian invention. And that really worked so incredibly well with conditioning fuel to be of a quality you just cannot purchase, basically. So the name change DXP was just diesel extra protection or dynamic extra performance. Neville's creating all sorts of different names with that. Eventuated in 2017, where we started to work towards marketing on a national level, which is something Neville didn't really wanted to do. So we took the reins for that and doing it for him, basically. So the formula was enhanced at that point to then include petrol as well, because it was just as important to condition the fuel, petrol fuel as well as diesel, to take up the loss of lead and what caused the issues with that. So that was so we started actually on the road about 2019, 2020, expanding this product through Australia. Mainly up the East Coast at the moment. It's mainly doing trade shows. It's all pretty much word of mouth. We've been expanding exponentially for the last 3 years, and it's all just come from people like yourselves using it and seeing the benefits from it. So the reason it works so well, there's a few different technologies within the fuel itself, the most important being the combustion improvement. So this is what lead and sulfur did to fuel. It's helped reduce the knock of the engines, helped improve combustion. So when that was taken out, there was nothing that was actually replaced in the fuel with that. And so Neville set about working on a technology that actually improved that. And he worked with a gentleman called Andrew McGowan. He's quite well known in certain industries, but Andrew McGowan was the creator of Castrol Magnatec oil when he worked for Castrol. So he's a very, very good industrial chemist. So he created a combustion improvement technology for this, for Neville, that works so effectively well in all fuels, basically, any fuels that work with a combustion engine. And the way it works is actually at a molecular level. It's actually changing the structure of the fuel to burn more efficiently as fuel. Lowering the flash point and actually meaning that you get a sustained even burn every time. So this improves performance, it improves your power, your torque that comes with that, and it improves fuel efficiencies. Coupled with this, we have the replacement of the lubricity that in the upper cylinder lubricant that was taken out again with lead. So today's fuel really has a wear factor to it rather than a lubricant factor. So it's in the long term is actually quite damaging to the engines. And it's something that he was very determined to rectify and provide people with the best option possible. The lubricant we use is 4 times more than lead or sulfur was. So it can be used as a lead replacement. And effectively increases the performance and reduces the wear factor to the engines. We also have an injector cleaner in there, so that drops deposits by about 60%. And this actually keeps the injection clean, gets you a longer life with the injectors, which is, a very expensive, especially modern day issues today. The very sensitive engines with the diesels and the common rail, you want to look after them, and this is what that does. Probably the most important of the whole process there would be what we do with moisture, and moisture is the most damaging to engines, and it's it's a big problem with right through the industry. With moisture, not only is it damaging, but you also with diesel you have the production of algae or biological growth, which again is very damaging to the engine. So we actually remove the moisture at a sub-micron level, which means that we actually emulsify it into the fuel. we allow for about 10% takeover. There's about 10% of our emulsifier in the product, which allows for about 50 mil per 100 litres of fuel. And that's a lot when it comes to water. It means that because all fuel has moisture in it, regardless of where you get it, it's got moisture in it. So this keeps it emulsified in the fuel, but keeping it under 1 micron means it passes all the filters into the chamber with the improved combustion. It leaves the system. So your fuel system is completely cleaned all the time. You can be confident in whatever fuel you buy anywhere. It means that you simply cannot have bad fuel affect your system because they couldn't be selling it at a level that would actually cause any problems because your fuel system is clean. There's no deposits left behind. If you were to pick up a load of fuel, could cause an issue, DXP will deal with it. And you wouldn't, there'd be a fuel station with a line of cars out there if you're getting that lot of volume of fuels. It was really designed around long-term storage in agriculture, so the fuel could sit there for 4 or 5 years in the diesel aspect of things, and contain any condensation through the breathers, and stop any biological growth because you're taking away the environment. If there is a break in the environment or a containment loss, it does have a biocide in there. So it stops it kills any spores, it kills any potential for biological growth, no matter what happens with that. So those combination of products, he got into a formula that's very cost effective. It runs at a ratio of 1 mil to 2 litres of fuel. So a 1 litre bottle like we have treats about 2,000 litres of fuel. And at full retail price is just over 3.5 cents a litre. So it's very cost effective. Especially when you're coming around with diesel fuel. We see a lot with premium diesel in Australia. That really doesn't mean a lot. Premium fuel has no industry standard to say what it should be, what volume it should be, what's in it, and most of the time you have no idea what's in it. What we're saying with this premium product is with what you're doing, premium fuels are anywhere from 2 to 6 cents higher for the cost of a standard trucking diesel. So we're saying, using this product, you actually take charge of that. You already saved your money by going straight to trucking diesel. Then you're creating a product that is far superior and guaranteed every time, knowing that the fuel you get is going to be the best it can be, regardless of what blend it is. With petrol, it's similar. Petrol, it has got a stabilizing aspect to it. So petrol can last up to about 12 months, depending on the grade of fuel you buy. Obviously, the higher you buy, the longer it lasts. It does the same thing with emulsification. It keeps the moisture out of it. Added bonus there is it also got an anti-corrosion aspect to it. So even if the fuel sits in the vehicle or device of lawnmowers, brush cutters, doesn't matter what it is, for a long period of time, even if the fuel goes bad, the system is protected because that oil coats the whole thing. So you just have to replace the fuel and off you go again. You're not going to get crystallization. You're not going to get any breakdown of the system itself. So in that, your fuel filters last a lot longer. Fuel filters being a great indicator of what your fuel system is running like, what's happening within the fuel system, and you start to find that they are a lot cleaner for a lot longer. As I say, one aspect we have, we can actually show you, that's the only thing we actually tangibly show you is what we do with moisture and how we emulsify it. So it's a little demonstration we can do. Sorry. I'll just do it on this camera. Okay. That's easy. Yeah. Yeah. So this product here, this is our emulsifier. So this is not DXP. There's 10% of this, and I'll show it a little camera bit there. There's 10% of this product in DXP. We just run it at 100% so that you can see what the moisture does, because moisture is very difficult to see in fuel. So basically, is that going to work? Get rid of the things there. Great. So it looks pretty good. I'm just going to pour some water in there, just so you can see. That's quite, I can put more, just so you can actually see what it does. So it's already dissolving in there. There you go. If I did, as I do nothing, I don't have a thing to stir it. So as it just runs through there, actually put the lid on. Mix it up. So I'm just going to spin it around a bit, just so we can mix it up a bit. And you can see that it actually just takes that moisture up. Oops. Right. There's no separation to the water at all. So it's actually emulsifying the moisture in. So that means any condensation you get in the tank, anything you pick up from a bad fuel from a service station or anything like that, it will actually just take it up into the fuel and suspend it. And then doing it under 1 micron is really important to understand. Fuel Doctor, being an exceptional product, only takes it down to 2. So your standard fuel filter is about 4 to 5 microns. A catchment filter is about 2. We're taking it under 1, which means it gets through all the filters into the chamber and out. And at that level, you can see it's clearing up more and more as we sit here. Yeah, right. At that level, they can't cause separation. And that's where a problem with fuel is. If you get a saturated fuel load, you get separation, that's where the damage to the system occurs. So that just can't happen. So you're confident, especially being forward drivers and club, you're traveling and sometimes you've got to fill up in places that might be suspect. This means that it's you're safe. It doesn't matter. You're in charge of that. And this is what Neville wanted. He wanted people to be in charge of fuel they got, no matter where they bought it from, and to guarantee that it's a safe and effective product. It's a bioorganic oil-based compound. It's a lubricant-based compound. So there's nothing harmful in it. It's got no metals. It's got no minerals. It's got no alcohols in it. So it's completely safe. And you can't put too much. All you'd be doing is wasting it, because because we're working at a molecular level, there's only, once you've changed an electrical structure, you can't change it more. That's it. So if you accidentally put too much in, you're doing nothing more than just wasting the product. You don't get more efficiencies. Fuel efficiency wise, fuel efficiency is a huge variable. There's so many factors involved. The history we have with the product, we have anywhere from 5% to 25%. That's the field feedback we get. And as some of you use it here tonight, you've had the same experience. You're getting fuel efficiencies. Generally, the whole basis of the product is protecting your engine, protecting your system, and knowing that you will get the best out of it. You're going to reduce mechanical costs, you're going to reduce fuel costs and maintenance costs. We see the fuel savings as an added bonus, and generally it will more than pay for itself as a product. Not only as you get fuel efficiency savings, but also in the costs you don't spend. It's the breakdown costs further down the track that you're not having to do anymore. And our history has that proven. We are, at the moment, we've been picked up by the Australian government, who recognise they're looking to create a blend of B20 biofuel for diesel. And they needed a product that would actually blend that and make it more efficient and take away the issues around biofuel with blending it. And the preliminary testing with our product proved that we did that very efficiently. We do have results coming back that we drop particulate emissions by about 25% almost immediately upon using it. And that's really important for dealing with your DPF systems and your EGR systems. You just have far less deposits, you have less blow-by, basically, so you don't have the black smoke anymore. And you can trust the system, basically, after that. The DPFs will generally not need auto-burning. So they're auto-burning, they won't need manual burning off, because they'll just keep on top themselves. Now, what else can I say about that? That's pretty much covered it, really, I think. Oh, yeah, we are. So one of our biggest things is to get it out there to the people that are available at the bows, and we have started that now. So there's a company called Kinetic. It's brand new to the market. The first station opened up in Armidale, and they've created a blend of fuel called Altegra Fuel, which we'll start seeing marketed more and more in the coming years. And as they expand as a service station, they are running DXP at the full ratio, because they've recognised they want to change the industry like we do. We feel that when you're filling up, especially the prices you're paying nowadays, that you should be knowing that you are getting a premium product and not knowing what you're getting, for the costs we pay. No other industry do you go out and buy stuff where you don't actually know what you're getting. This guarantees you get that. And that's what we want. We want people to start using this more. Obviously, it's great for everyone, but to start pushing the industry to a better standard. Because it's available and it's available cheap. If we can do it 3.5 cents a litre, bigger companies could do it far, far less than that. They simply don't, because they don't have to. And that's just not right. So, I don't know, any questions? Any questions people have? No, isn't it?
Yes, I need the prop. Thank you, James, for turning up. It's a long way from Narromine.
Yeah.
The first thing I did when I picked up this bottle, the third thing I did when I picked up this bottle was look for lubricity and injector lubrication, blah, 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 which they all say. The second thing I looked for was the biofuel biocide combat
Yep.
to kill out the biocides. The very first thing I looked for on your bottle was the water emulsifying property of the product. You've just given us a great bloody spiel about that and done a demonstration, and it's floating around here somewhere, and it don't say it on your label.
You need a bigger bottle. We can only get so much on that label. The other labels actually have all of that information.
Well, I'm sorry, I would have, personally, I would have thought
Yeah.
that would have been the first thing I'd be looking for with a common rail diesel these days.
Yes.
Water
Absolutely.
emulsification.
Yeah. We have it in the brochures. We have it on the bigger bottles on our website. The smaller bottles are really, what they were designed for was just to get people, like we sell them at the shows like we have here for $20. And it was just helping people get over the line. You know, there's a lot of skeptics out there. There's been a lot of issues with fuel additives in the past. You've got a lot of companies not liking them. And there's a lot of fuel additives that are just not good and they're very harmful. So, so that's pretty much it. And we can only get so much on a small label. And there's a lot of important issues around that. So, yeah, you'll find that on the bigger bottle and on the brochure.
Well, I'm not worried about the label.
Right. You got it? You're good. Yeah.
Can I go now?
Yeah.
The question I have is that companies like BP and Caltex, even Costco, they talk about their additives in their fuel.
Yeah.
Is DXP safe with those additives?
Oh, yeah, totally. It can't. So if you were to test the fuel with DXP in it, you actually won't see anything because we're not adding anything to fuel that shouldn't be there. Something I should have said about premium fuel, there is no premium diesel fuel. There is diesel fuel and there's diesel fuel with additive. That's how you make premium. But like I said, there's no industry standard to say what it should be or what should be in it. So because it's of the emulsifying agent, the dispersing agent within DXP, anything that's in there, it just makes it work better. Having said that, I had a customer using Caltex Vortex, using our product as well, because he was determined to use that premium fuel. But he found when he just tried it without it, he actually got more efficiencies without that and just with DXP on its own. But there's no possible way for it to harm anything. It just doesn't work in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Has the product got any after smell or anything, or can it be with a fuel test be found in the fuel and then cause a warranty claim on an engine?
No, you can't. So when you test the fuel with DXP in it, you can't see anything. Because what they're looking for is things like minerals and metals and alcohols that actually cause damage to the system. And we don't have any of those things because we're working on a molecular level. We're not actually adding anything to the fuel that shouldn't be there. The lubricity should be there. They don't look for biocide or emulsification agents because they don't have an effect on that way. So it can't be. And you know, they have that disclaimer because they've got to, because there are a lot of additives that are a problem. So they have that baseline, but ultimately, if you're using diesel, you're using an additive, especially if you're using premium diesel. You know, you're using an additive already, and you don't know what it is. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah. Great. Oh, none online. I've got to ask that. All right. Oh, yes. So what we've done for the club is we've set up a code. You might have seen on the Facebook, but we'll actually give that code to you today, which is just a club initiative, TLCCV. If you do buy on our website, that puts through a 15% discount across the board. It's just a way we came up with the club board members to try and offer the best possible deal. Today, there is even a better special. It's closer to about 20-25%, which means the 1 litre bottle here. So I'm going to put that there so people online can see it. We're the only ones with the bent neck design that actually fits an unleaded one as well and makes it really easy to measure through the reservoir and to pour into the system. It can be put in after you fill up. It will disperse through the system in about 10 minutes. So it means you can be more accurate. So 100 litres in the tank, it's 50 mil, off you go. Now that treats about 2,000 litres of fuel. So there's no shelf life on it. It can't go bad or off. And And so that one's $60 today. And then you've got a 500 ml, which is a half litre, that's $32. And then $275 on the table, that's $20. So it's quite cost effective. And then online after that, then you've got a continuous 15% discount on top of that as well. So, okay. And Marcus bought 2 litres. I have done this. I had a talk at the Geelong Club meeting, same club, in January. I didn't realise it's so long. Yeah, but quite a few members bought it then and have seen great results. So maybe chat to them too, because they're the ones that give you the unbiased feedback. So there's no more questions. Thank you very much. Okay, it's good to talk to you. We're going to be sitting over there anyway. So if you've got any more questions that come up, feel free to come up and ask anything you'd like to know. All right. Thank you.
We might move on to the education report, and we've got Liz Mills here.
Welcome to everybody tonight, and I'd like to, before I start, just say a thank you to the new committee, and hopefully there will be a good committee for us this year, so I'm sure there will be. Aussie Explorer mapping program that is full, so hopefully he will do another one next year, early next year. Now, the ladies' basic vehicle maintenance, we've still got 4 places left. Now, we don't do this very often, so make the most of it, ladies. Come up to Yark, have a fun weekend, bring the partner. The partner can sit by the fire in the Hilton, natter, watch football, talk about football. And what? And cook dinner. Yes, they can do that. And have a quiet weekend while you ladies learn how to deal with things under your bonnet and under the car. So book in. Kayla Seaborn apparently is very efficient at this. So, and I'm thinking of doing this myself as well. So come up to Yark for that weekend, which is the Saturday the 16th, 9 a.m. start. So get on the website and book that in. Chainsaw course, Friday the 20th, Saturday 21st, Sunday 22nd. At the moment, it is full, but I have about 4 on the wait list. So there's always somebody that then, doesn't make it that weekend for some reason or other. It is $450, and the closer you get to actually booking in, or if I have to take you off the wait list, it probably will mean a $450 fee to be paid straight away. And obviously, you've got to have all your PPE as well. It's a very popular course. There won't be another one run for quite a while. So if you want to do this and have the ability to cut wood at Yark and with parks as well, get on and book in. And if somebody does cancel, you'll get the chance to do that this year. That's it at the moment for this year. Hopefully something will start cropping up again early next year. I may be able to get something for November. I'm not sure yet. So that's about it for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Liz.
Yeah, so we do have one Q&A. I think this is probably a question for James, if we don't know the answer. Where can you buy the product in Melbourne? Peter is asking.
In Melbourne, we don't have any resellers. We're looking for resellers all the time. We do mainly online sales. It is not a hazardous product. It's not flammable and it's not toxic. So we can actually ship through Australia Post. But we're trying to pick up resellers as much as we can. We focus on family-based businesses because we're a family-based business. So we're actually avoiding places like Supercheap and Autobarn. We're doing that on purpose. We want to actually support local communities and local people. So with that, it's a slower take up because people need to believe in it. And we're expanding quite rapidly. We've got about 30 resellers across the East Coast right now. Not many in Victoria. We're working on that. But otherwise, down in Gippsland, yeah. Otherwise, it's on the website, dxpaustralia.com.au. Yeah.
Thanks, James. Next, we'll have our trip convener, Viv Gardner. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Glad to see you all here and in Zoom land and Facebook land. I'd like to thank Sharon McGregor for presenting the Trip Leader certificates at the AGM as Baz and I were away. The Trip Leader year runs from the 1st of April to the 31st of March the following year. So if you ran any trips after that, you'll get your certificate next year. Next year, the background for these certificates will be the 2023 John Whitney Award winning photo taken by Chris Atkins. We hope that from now on, the yearly winning photo of the John Whitney Award will be featured in this way. Trips that are full are the Little Desert Spectacular, the wait list only, Legends of Dargo, and the Portland Sand Dunes had to be cancelled due to flooding still not abating. Upcoming trips, we've had a great response and we've got 3 cup weekends, trips with vacancies. Murray Sunset and Whipperfield National Park with Robin Ellison Duff. South Australia Sand Dune Hopping with Alison Hilton and Chris Atkins, and November at Robe with Chris Treble. I noticed on the website that these trips are filling fast, so don't hesitate or you'll miss out on the fun. And that's all, and thanks to the trip leaders who put in all the hard work, and hopefully we'll get some more trips coming when the weather improves and they all come back from Queensland.
Thanks very much, Viv. Next report was from regarding the 225 gathering. That would be John Mills.
Good evening, everyone, and I also want to congratulate the new committee. Let's hope they have another good year like we had in the past. Not much to report this month. We've did most of our heavy lifting very early on the piece, and we've got sort of our infrastructure now in place. So not only that, there's only about 3 of the gathering team actually in the state at the moment. All the rest are away doing what 4-wheel drivers should do and enjoying the outback and going on trips. So not much to report this month. All the sub marketing's going well. Alison wants to do shirts again this time, which we didn't get in WA, but it's something she's keen to do. She wants to do 100% cotton outback shirts for about $35 each with the gathering badge on it. Okay.
Thanks very much, John. We'll move on. What we can do, we've got our Geelong report from Alison Williams now.
Thank you, Peter. We have lunch Sunday week on the 27th of August at Kaluas. It's a winery called One Day Estate. It only does meals for one day. That's how it got its name. The rest of the time it does weddings. We had it there last year. It's a great day. They have an indoor fire and a great big, very huge gas tank with a hole in it, which makes a wonderful outdoor fire. October the 3rd, our meeting, we have a guest speaker, Giles from Impact Import Group. They import iCampers, Kufu Culture, which is a new drawer system. And it's based on the company which used to be called Umhauers in Geelong. And when ARB opened in Geelong, they closed down. So they've diversified a little bit. He's coming along to our meeting. And our Christmas catch-up is on Sunday, the 19th of November at a place called Bungel's Lookout in Maud. You can camp there overnight for free. There are toilets and amenities there. It's a great little spot with a great picnic area and a little sort of shed if it gets windy or rainy or sunny. And Geelong provide the barbecue, and all you need to do is bring a salad or dessert, and you can book online. Thank you.
Thank you, Alison. We'll move on. Now, next, we've got special events, which Steve Smith, I saw him earlier.
Thank you. Special events, 4x4 show this weekend. We've probably got most of the people most of the spots are full, which is pretty good. So we're still pretty light on Friday afternoon. We've only got 4 people, and we've only got 5 on Saturday afternoon. Previous years doing this 4x4 show, we usually get 40 to 50 names of potential new members. So it's usually, and it costs the club a couple of grand for us to be at the show. So I guess on the basis of the number of new members we get to the cost, it's worth doing. But if we haven't got enough members to staff the marquee, then obviously we're missing out on getting as many new members as we could. Okay, so that's where we're at. We've got plenty of people Friday morning, plenty of people Saturday, Sunday mornings, and Sunday afternoon, but still a bit light on Friday afternoon, and 5 people Saturday afternoon. I see on the forecast Friday expected to be a lot of rain, so I'm not sure how many people are going to be at the 4x4 show anyway. Anyway, I would hate for only 4 people to turn up, and it turned out to be a glorious afternoon, and we wish we had more. Anyway, this weekend, if anyone wants to come, let me know.
Thanks, Steve. We go to Q&A. I think we've got one question. It's another question for James.
Okay. Oh, yes, absolutely. I run it all the time, and it's fantastic, especially I just came up from Beechworth, so I needed it. But yeah, what you'll find, it runs more. It actually runs a bit hotter. Can we use DXP in a diesel heater? Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah, sure. It'll basically let it last a lot longer, keep the moisture out and stop the bug from growing, especially as it sits there over summer. So you'll be fine. Yeah.
Thanks, James. Next, we have Yark, and it's Brian Stewart, I believe.
A couple of those things have already been spoken about tonight, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. First, I'd like to acknowledge the recent passing of Len Gathing. was a founding member, member number 26. He was there for the very first use of Yark, and he was part of the Yark management team right up until he required care. Very unique character with plenty of interesting theories to be discussed around the campfire. Some pretty serious stuff was discussed with no real resolution to it all, but good fun. And secondly, the passing of a much valued former committee member, this being Harold Ross, also a TLCCV life member. Both he and his wife Glenda were here last month for our AGM, so it's good to catch up with them then. Yeah, okay. A report on the past 2 maintenance and construction weekends is in this month's magazine. There were a total of 55 people over those 2 weekends. So it was a fantastic effort. Make this coming weekend the one you keep saying maybe next month. Okay, and we'll see you up there. This is not only the opportunity to get involved, but to enjoy the social side, meeting both new and long-standing members. Find out a little bit of history of the club and where you want to be going with it. There are many and varied regular tasks to be done, keep everything running smoothly. This weekend, there are trees to be planted, grass to be cut, firewood cut, collected, split and stacked. That's always a major thing. Work will continue with the Birch Hut toilet construction, and preparations are underway for the removal of Bergen alongside the main tracks. It is planned for this to happen next week. The guys are going to be coming in, but I'm still waiting a confirmation on that one. And then September, our weekend there also incorporates a social event for the kids, young and old. An interesting time for everyone, so don't miss out. Book now. Alison and her team have got quite a few things organised for that weekend. One of the things that will be happening is we'll be replacing the Land for Wildlife signs that we've got up around the property. I had those, Alison sort of organised all of that, and they were delivered to my place yesterday. So I'll be taking them up this weekend, all ready for the September weekend. We'll take the old ones down and put the new ones up. So looking forward to seeing you up there this weekend. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Brian. We'll move on now to social.
Yes, so what we have to report is that we had Christmas in July last month, and it was nicely attended. 3-course dinner, Custom House in Williamstown. It was good to see new members there. Entertainment, everyone had a great time. We have got a couple of events planned. The first one I think is confirmed date, which will be Saturday, the 21st of October. What we're thinking of doing is like a casserole and quiz night, which probably like try and have some games or music bingo or things like that. So we're putting the thinking caps on. We're thinking the location for this particular one will be somewhere in Rowville. I'm not sure yet whether to hire a hall or where to do it, but I just wanted to get in early and let everyone know about it. If they're interested, put it in your diaries. I think we have to cap the number for this one, so we won't be able to accept a lot of people. So yeah, depending on where the venue will be. We're looking probably at about $20 a person at this stage, and maybe BYO drinks, things like that. So that one is Saturday, 21st of October. The other social that we're looking at doing is the much anticipated Italian night. So thank you to Maria and Walter for agreeing to do that. We're just trying to finalize dates at the moment. So we're hoping that we may be able to bring it in November. We're just doing a bit of talk and finding out when we can actually have the venue, Yark. This one will be at Yark. So for those that haven't been to Italian night before, it's such a fun night. Everyone's just helping cooking on the day, and then a feast at night, and Walter's famous desserts. So it always is an amazing night. So yeah, hopefully we can see as many members for those two functions. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. We'll now ask for a four-wheel drive Victoria report from Eric Bishop.
Four-wheel drive Victoria. Not much to say this month because it's been so cold. Everybody's been away on trips, and our next board meeting is on this coming Thursday night. But yeah, not a lot to discuss. I will say this from a national perspective, and this will interest everybody, is that we're kicking off recovery. You know how you get stuck somewhere and it costs a lot of money to recover. So each of the states are looking at, and we can do this here too in Victoria as well, having groups of clubs or various organisations around the country who can come and recover you, help you out, whatever. Particularly if it's a club, for instance, it can have 3, 4 or 5 people come and pull you out. Particularly up in Northern Territory, there's a couple of big clubs up that way. Queensland, of course, and Tassie and various other places. So we're working on, at the moment, it's just in the embryonic stage of getting some states to come forward with regional areas where you can get recovered by other club members. And it's actually received a pretty good response. So that'll probably take us about 6 months to pull that together. But anyway, that's something that's out there trying to be organised. And Victoria, I'm sure with the amount of clubs we've got here in Victoria, got more in New South Wales has got more than us, but they're not as active as we are. But we can get regional clubs to assist with that on a weekend basis. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Eric. Now we'll go on to Cruiser Carnival, if we couldn't, because we've got Amanda Gladstone.
Hi, everyone. I got voted as committee 1 too, so I just wanted to say thank you for your votes and hopefully I live up to your expectations. I always try my best. I'm here for all the members. Right, Cruiser Carnival. We have a lovely new member, Chris, who's over here, who also is a gentleman that owns some very heavy duty machinery. We are hoping to, in January, get underway with moving some logs on the Timber Challenge, which was what got cancelled last year, and a lot of the competitors were pretty disappointed. From what we're seeing, it's all just moving water, and we need to divert some of it without affecting the ecosystem, but also so that we can also enjoy our event next October. And that's about it from me until we have another committee meeting.
Well, while we're having our short break, I just thought I'd come up. Over on the table over there, there is some Narber View Wildlife Shelter stubby holders, mugs, pens and bags. On the weekend, Shelley, the lady who runs the Narber View Wildlife Shelter, was so overwhelmed with all the help and the helpers and everything that she wanted done. And she never put out her little bits and pieces to raise money for the wildlife shelter. So I said, box some up for me and I'd bring them along to the meeting. So if anyone would like to help out, pens are $5, stubby holders are 10, cups are 20. No, sorry, cups are 15 and the bags are 20, or you can get all 4 for $50. Okay, thank you.
Before we wind up, I've just got a couple of little more things to bring up. We're thinking about reinstating the sergeant at arms if we can get someone to take on that role. We found the big frying pan down below, and which is also a warning that everyone must remember to wear their badges, which is an instant fine. There we go. And also, please remember to register for our meetings and to attend YARC, because there's a number here that came tonight that didn't register, and it helps Brian with his planning if he's got the numbers that are coming up to YARC. And for that, we'll close the meeting at what very early time, I think.